break into a sweat with even the thought of having company? I'm here to help. After trying just a few of my hosting tips, you'll be more than ready to say, come on over. Hello gardeners, we're standing here on Hydrangea Row and we're going to talk about the 4 different kinds of mulch I use. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would you need 4 different kinds of mulch? Excellent question. It's because I have 4 different kinds of flat and slope and beds in my vast garden beds. So I have learned through experience and through disaster what to use and what not to use. So let's start with the most common mulch you'll see out there, and that is just a bark type mulch. You can see it's just a rough shred of pine bark, and pine bark is all that I use. I do not use any other kind, and I use it in different variations. This is the most common. It's just a heavy shred. It's just chopped up. It looks great when it's all out, but up close, not so great. This particular one has preen in it. Preen is a weed preventer. It stops weeds from germinating, and that's why I love when I can find mulch with preen in it. And here it says right at the top, preen mulch with extended control weed preventer. If I can find that, I will use it. If I can't find it, I just go ahead and use the preen I already have, throw that down first, and then the mulch. So this is the most common kind. Then we have what's called soil conditioner. You can see it here on the side of the bag. It is the same thing. It is still pine bark mulch, but look how fine it is. It is super fine, and this is what you want to use to amend your soil. This is essential in my gardens because I have a ridiculous amount of clay. Clay is good in some respects and not so good in others. And since I'm a Yankee recovering in the South, I was not prepared for clay soils. That's when I learned about soil conditioner. You will work this into your soil, meaning that as you put down layer upon layer, it works itself into the soil when you're digging, when you're raking in your fertilizer, and this helps amend the soil so you have fluffier, more plantable, better soil. But if you really want good soil, what you want is compost. Now look at this. You can see on the bag, it says composted organic humus. Down here, humused compost organic. Okay, this is beautiful stuff. If you're going to plant a bed, or if you're creating a new bed, you want to work this and soil conditioner into the existing soil to create beautiful, wonderful, plantable soil. I don't know if you've ever tried to dig a hole in clay soil. It is horrid. But as you amend it with this kind of thing, with compost, and you might add some black cow manure, you might add many other things into that soil, this is your friend. I will use this to build up soil in certain areas. Then, the 4th one I use, and maybe the most common one I use, is right over here. This is pine straw. Now, it's exactly what you see if you see a pine forest. You're seeing the straw that comes from the pine branches, the pine trees. And when you have the kind of yard I have, where it's sloped, now it's hard to see here, but up towards the street, it's pretty level, and then as we walk down this way, it gets very sloped. And by the time I get to this hydrangea right here, that is just starting to peek out, I'm only halfway down the slope, and then it slopes even further into a valley. So I need pine bark mulch that will stay there, meaning I do not want a torrential downpour, which we get here in Zone 7B, Nashville, Tennessee. We get torrential downpours and it will just wash away all that mulch you spent so much time laying down. That happened to me. First year I was here, was so excited about my beautiful mulch, all went into the valley. Then I discovered pine needle, and you can see what it looks like. And so when I mulch in here, and you can see I've got kind of a variety of mulches in here, I just throw it down, and you'll see gardeners out with huge handfuls of this, just throwing it out. I'm not going to put it all down today because I still need to fertilize, but it's kind of fluffy, it's pretty, it's natural looking, and as it rains, it will tamp down, but it will not move, and that's why I love it. Now, when you look at these mulches, you might be thinking, well, there's certainly other kind of mulches out there. Why are you insisting on these? Friends, if you use a rubber mulch, you are putting rubber chemicals into the ground. It will leach those chemicals. And I know you're thinking, well, I could just mulch one time, or it looks so uniform, or it stays in place. Those are all true. But if you are a serious gardener and you want to be serious about your soil, do not get the rubber mulch. No, don't do it. Also, there's a product that you can spray on your mulch to keep it into place. Sounds great, doesn't it? Until you realize that mulch is not going to break down. It's not going to work its way into the soil. You are not conditioning your soil. You are suppressing weeds, which is what you want to use mulch for also. It looks good, but it's not helping your soil. So when I mulch, my goals are threefold. Look good, suppress weeds, amend the soil. And I hope those reasons will be yours also.
Come on over. Now go make someone feel special today.